Good morning, Mo'eva Abotai. Be'ezrat Hashem, Mincha is going to be 7:05, City Hot 6:25. Please be on time. The learning today is Refuah Shlemat Tzvi Pinchas HaKohen Ben Rivka for a successful procedure and a fast recovery, sponsored by the Kirat Avodat Hashem Board. Chazak u'Baruch. Further sponsorships, please contact Rabbi Babayev. As we sort of completed on a preliminary level the discussion of building a Eruv in a city and the reliance of such a Eruv, it is important to discuss the second element of every single Eruv is not good enough. And this is something I have to stress because a lot of people you can only see what your eyes see, and a lot of times we don't realize there's a second element to every single Eruv, and that is not just walls. Even if you made the strongest walls and the best, and doors and gates, and enclosed the whole city in the most perfect way according to all of the opinions, the Eruv is 100% pasul until you do one basic criteria that every Eruv must do aside from the structures of the walls. And that is the Takanav Shlomo HaMelech, which is Eruvei Hatzerot. What that basically means is whenever you have two properties, both are Reshuyot HaYahid, talking about something that's a private domain, 100%, walls, houses, totally a private domain. However, they open up into a Hatzer or into each other. In that case, that is called something that the Chachamim required, what is called an Eruv. It required a mixing of jurisdiction. Eruv, the word Eruv comes from mixing of jurisdiction, because they said if we allow two homes to carry in a courtyard, that has a resemblance to carrying in a public domain, a resemblance. So even though everything is enclosed, because there's a resemblance from going from one person's domain to sort of a more public domain, a private to a public domain, and therefore they said on rabbinic level, we are going to institute requirement of Eruvei Hatzerot. Now what is this requirement? The requirement is very simple. All you have to do is put into one of the homes bread, enough bread that you could split. So let's say it's two people in one courtyard. You say, okay, I'm going to give half the bread, half the challah, you're the half the challah. We're putting in one of the homes. And then we say, just like in this house, you own half of the bread that's in my house, and therefore our jurisdiction is really mixed. We're together here. You come take it whenever you want. You can eat here if you want. So too, your property and my property are mixed. Once it's viewed as mixed, so then the Chachamim say now it has no resemblance to Reshut HaRabim, and therefore you're permitted to carry. So essentially, every single Eruv is basically one big courtyard, and we say, okay, we need to be me'arev everybody. So how do we do it? We don't take bread because it's not as effective. It could get spoiled and ruined. We take matzot, which is the equivalent, is you don't need technically bread. You could use really any mizonot is totally fine, and we'll see other criteria that you could use for Eruv, but you take a significant amount, and that way every single person in the entire city owns a little bit, has a small percentage in that bread. It's a partnership, and then the whole city can be mitarev. So you need really two requirements. One is structures, either having a string around the city or walls around the city, and you create the physical structures of Eruv to make it a Reshut HaYahid. And then the actual heart of the Eruv is the bread that everybody is unified, and usually that's located in the shul, the sort of the centralized shul of the city. It cannot be from outside. It has to be within the actual Eruv, and that's how Eruv is performed. What we'll get to tomorrow is a common example of apartment complexes and the necessity of establishing a Eruv inside an apartment complex. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.